Partners from several organizations celebrated a recent win to permanently protect Banded Peak Ranch, the last piece of a 30-year effort to conserve private ranch lands located near Como, Colorado. The ranch, which comprises 16,723 acres, is known for its premier deer and elk hunting program and carefully managed timber operations. The protection of this area by the Conservation Fund, Colorado State Forest Service, and USDA Forest Service means that it will remain rugged and undeveloped forever. Christine Quinlan from the Conservation Fund shared the qualities that make this protected area so important to the people of Colorado and New Mexico.
To paint the picture, it's one of the most wild and remote places left in Colorado. But to be able to get this last big ranch under conservation easement is really the capstone on an overall effort that is aimed at preserving these working ranches in that valley and keeping things intact, which provides benefits to not only the private landowners, but to the public at large in terms of maintaining, the integrity of the wildlife habitat, the scenic qualities, the watershed, and the water quality and the water supply there. So those are some of the notable overarching things about this project.
Although the ranch owners have been working together with these organizations for decades to protect the health of the forests and adjacent rivers, there was still a need to keep this area wild, pristine, and undeveloped permanently. This is why the partner organizations applied for Forest Legacy funding, which is a federally funded program.
The process to get the Forest Legacy funding is very competitive. Typically, over the last 3 or 4 years, there's only been about $65 million nationwide to give away for all projects, and the state cap has been $7 million per state. So it's highly competitive funding. It's tough to get, and you hardly ever get the maximum amount. And this Banded Peak Ranch proposal scored second in the nation and was the only project in the round to get the maximum amount of funding. So it's a great opportunity for us to work with landowners on a conservation easement that will ensure that the forest management on the property continues. It'll keep the property intact and make sure it's never subdivided, and also let the landowner run the property how they have in the past.
One of the main benefits of protecting this area is the preservation of water rights to all users downstream of the valley.
I think it's fair to say that there's some sprawling communities around there, including in New Mexico and Pagosa Springs and Durango and that area. So there is a real threat to conversion of water being used for traditional practices such as forest management and agriculture to, use for domestic uses for folks in town. And there's folks out there that have enough money to offer these guys large sums to get rid of their water rights and have them transferred to different uses. And that's a really big part of completing this conservation easement, and the effort in this area is just what it's doing for the Navajo River Watershed as it becomes more threatened with more population coming into Colorado.
Provides about 90% of Albuquerque's surface water. So it supplies a huge amount of water for the city of Albuquerque, probably some for the city of Santa Fe as well, and also irrigation water for irrigators in the middle Rio Grande Valley, which, as we know, is a very fertile place where they grow chilies and all kinds of other crops. Protecting this supply and keeping it's pristine at this moment, and this is the source of it.
During a 2015 census of land trusts in the United States that was initiated by the Land Trust Alliance, they found that there was 56 million acres of protected land in the United States. This is double the area of all national parks. In Colorado alone, more than 3 million acres are protected by more than 31 land trusts, which equals almost 5% of the state's total acreage. The Banded Peak Ranch project adds more protected land to this overall acreage and is another reason why we all love Colorado.
It's kind of what keeps Colorado, Colorado. We have enormous pressures on our water supplies, on our our development, on lands for development, as Carolyn was mentioning. And so to be able to keep a valley like this in its current state is very satisfying in this moment. And I think it will be really meaningful for decades and centuries to come.
If you would like to learn more about the Banded Peak Ranch project, visit the Conservation Fund's website at www.conservationfund.org. Thank you for watching this edition of Pagosa Local News.